This is a fun story. So I called up Jeff, and we had this because we had moved to our second manufacturer. And they're a smaller shop, which is probably why they took on the job. And I don't think they'd ever done a job of this magnitude. We can't do this magnitude, sorry. So I called up Jeff, and I was like, Jeff, they're saying that we can't pay them via a particular means. They want a wire transfer, which is unusual for what Jeff is used to dealing with. And I was like, can we do that? And he's like, sure, you just got to get me the information. So I call up the guy, and he sends me all of their bank information and how to do the wire transfer, and I got it in an email. So I call up Jeff, and I hadn't really read through it. And I'm on the phone with Jeff, and he's like, okay, I'm going to give you the information of their accounts. And I'm sitting there, and I start reading the account number. And in the middle of the account number is a 1057. And the minute I said, so Jeff, your account is blah, 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 1057, he goes, wait a second. Is this going into one of your covert accounts or something? And I hadn't even noticed that 1057 was in there. For those of you who don't know, 1057 hacker handle, yada yada. So anyway, that was a really funny moment for me. I was like, man, Jeff's gonna think I'm trying to scam him or something. So for the fabrication process, we did a number of things to try and do this antique look on the titanium. And the first thing we did was we tried to oxidize them. We put them in a kiln, and the first time we did about 900 degrees Fahrenheit. And they came out these really interesting colors. We didn't do any gases or anything, just put the straight material in. And they oxidized and got some really, this is pre-oxidation. They got some really interesting colors to them, but the titanium's so damn hard that the oxidation actually wiped off of them. So we built these little rigs here to hang them on. So in between every badge is a little washer as a spacer. And we put them on these rods, and then this whole thing got shoved inside like the oven. And you can see them hanging there. We couldn't figure out how to get that oxidation to take, and I started doing more research on it, and I'm not a metal fabrication person. But apparently if you flood different gases into the kiln when you're firing these things, they'll take on different colors and things like that. But we found if we scored the badges by putting them in a tumbler with really coarse material that would scratch the hell out of the front of the badge, it not only antiqued for us, deburred better, but it also took the color better. So there's some, like mid-bake, we open the oven to, you can see they're kind of changing color a little bit. So there's some of the contest badges hanging there. So when you can see on the top two, those haven't been run through. The one in the middle has been through for about 5 minutes, and then the color on the bottom one is a deeper purple that I kind of liked. That's almost an hour in 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So there's a shot of the goon badges as we're doing production. We kept them in stacks. Some of you may actually have artifacting on your badge from where those little washers were in between the badges. I thought it looked kind of cool, so we left it. I was really going for this antique look. Again, some humans, some of you may or may not have all of the numbers yet. Hint, hint.
What was that? I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, heavy-handed, right? There may or may not be Post-its there with some numbers on them. Oh, okay, we'll go to the next slide. So in the middle of production is also when I started doing the blue hair thing, and this is like in the middle of dyeing my hair. This is like after the peroxide. So
you're trying to match your hair to the badge?
Somebody asked me that actually, and I was like, I was intending to go blue and wanted to match the 1057 badge that you see here on the left, and it didn't get dark enough. So too bad for that. So I hear cameras snapping, that's why I'm pausing for a minute there. So, the real rub, the math and the crypto. So I'm going to go through some of these a little faster and some a little slower because some of them are blatant hints and I don't want to dwell on them. So if you want to get out your cameras, right now is the time to do it. Okay, you've been warned. So this is a spreadsheet of some of my preliminary research that I've done. When I started trying to figure out what I was going to do with the math and the crypto, this is how I sketch and doodle in my head. This is what I do, this kind of thing. I sit down with an Excel spreadsheet and like, let's do this, let's do this. Here's another one. I did leave the note at the bottom that said, note, this assumes, and then, yeah, you can see, redacted. I think I left the name of the file at the top, though. Oh, wait, hint. Again, another redaction. I left the of this because, you know, I thought that would be fun to let you see that. Any math people in the audience? Yeah, so you get used to, the whole N in A of N. So, anybody recognize these numbers? Yeah, this is the original spreadsheet I did of the ring. That is the code wheel out in the middle of the floor. Yeah, the crypto wheel. Yeah. So Neil plus Lost plus late night video Skype equals the awesome wheel of DEF CON. So I don't know, those of you who know Neil, Neil actually works for DEF CON and does amazing art and has helped me immensely, and I can't give him props more. He spent many, many nights late till 3, 4 in the morning on video Skype with me. In fact, Nikita, his wife, has now accused us of having a bromance because of this. So, okay. I can't, and I redacted some of these a while ago, so I can't even remember what I put on there. So, the blank with numbers for blah, blah, blah. There are only blah numbers. Never. I just hear all the cameras snapping. So, I get this panicked call from Jeff one night. And apparently someone had leaked a picture of one of the goon badges, which was this device. It turns out that the guy was a friend of Joe's, that they were just trying to punk me a little bit. But nobody knew, none of the rest of the staff or anybody knew that at the time. So Jeff's like, did something leak? Did you give out pictures that I didn't know about? And I said, no, Jeff, I swear I didn't give pictures out to anybody. So I go online and I look at this and I was like, it's total bullshit. And then being the very kind...
The next thing we're like, well then what the fuck is it?
Yeah. So yeah, Jeff's like, do you know what it is? And I was like, it looks like some type of optic thing with like alignment. Yeah. Like maybe a surveyor's tool or something. But the best part, because Jeff is such a kind... What is it? Because the contest is so easy, right? So Jeff, being the kind and generous, loving person that he is, I said, Jeff, do you want me to like go online and like smack this down? He's like, no, let's let him think it's real. And I was like, okay. So we've actually hired our own personal DEF CON spy. So I want to give him professional credit. This is Johnny Mack. He actually has an IMDb entry under John McPhalen. He is a professional actor as well as an engineer and a good friend of mine. He was also an applications engineer formerly for Parallax and now for a company called EFX Tech. And he also works professionally in Hollywood doing special effects stuff for all kinds of people like Steve Wang, who did the original Predator and stuff like that. So not only does he have awesome cred as an engineer and an actor, but now he has awesome cred of being a hired DEF CON spy. And some of you may have seen him in and throughout the conference. I'm greatly appreciative that I could get him to come. He actually came for no money and is donating his time to help make the conference good for us. So.
Yeah.
Consequently, he also writes a column for Nuts and Bolts magazine every month and will be teaching a class in the Hardware Hacking Village. So it's a good opportunity if you want to come in there and learn some stuff. So I will give a one design hint or fun thing that we tried to do. You will notice on your lanyards, if you stare down at your own lanyard, that the binary is written in such a way that it is just out of view of yourself. So if you look down at your own lanyard, you almost forget that there's any binary or crypto on there. Because everything in the contests this year is designed to make you interact with other people and talk to other people and meet other people, make new friends, make new connections. So that was a very deliberate design choice to have you go, hey, I have this cool badge and I see Neil's awesome silhouette drawings, but you don't notice, and I know a number of people have been working on other parts of the contest but haven't even realized, oh, wait a minute, there's actually binary on there. And so this is going to sound weird, but what I'm about to say is a hint. You'll notice there is a 7 in there, which is the first thing Major Malfunction said to me when he saw lanyards. He comes up to me, and I don't know how many of you know Major. He has the great British accent, and he comes up and he goes, fucking lost. He goes, there's a 7 on there. And I said, yes, that's because I'm narcissistic. So you may have noticed in your program there's a few odds and ends and things that may look out of place and things that may look interesting. Any Chinese speakers out in the audience? Yeah? Yeah? One? Yet, how many of you are learning Chinese characters now? So my question is, here's a better question. How many of you, this conference, have learned at least one thing you didn't know in the process of studying for this badge contest?
Yeah.
So again, my job here is done. You may have noticed some other interesting tidbits. That right there is the very first concept sketch I did on graph paper. You can kind of see the blue lines on there of the eye that is on the badge. And I scanned it and put it on. And nice little quote there at the bottom. Please, above all, have fun. When I ran Mystery Challenge, it was designed, by design, to have a 50% failure rate. I wanted 50% of my teams that were in Mystery Challenge every year to pass, and it would be hard enough that 50% never made it through. The badge contest is not designed for failure. It's designed for fun and interaction. How many of you are familiar with the concept of Occam's razor? Yeah. Okay, some of you didn't shave very closely this morning with Occam's razor. This is not the Mystery Challenge, okay? It's designed to be fun. There will be hints that will start today. Today is the official kickoff of DEF CON. That's why not really a whole lot was given out yesterday. We have a Twitter feed, which is the 1057 Twitter feed, that I will probably every 2 hours throw something out there. I've been walking the floor trying to gauge where everybody's at and will act accordingly. That's one of the benefits also I have of having a live actor here that can make the game fun, but also gives me a human whiteboard, if you will, to help pass hints to you guys in a manner that's enjoyable. So if you find yourself getting to the point where you're getting pissed off or angry because you're frustrated because, damn it, I can't figure out what the hell this means, talk to some other people. Talk to me. It's not designed to frustrate this year. Mystery Challenge is occasionally designed to frustrate. This is not. I will tell you that I am giving style points this year to people who find any of my various Easter eggs, and Jeff is aware of several of them. Some of them, I told Jeff, if anyone gets this particular egg, we should freaking give them either free DEF CON next year or something, because it would be just amazing. Speaking of amazing, is the guy that got his badge tattooed on him here? Are you here? And I can't see because of the lights. Is he here? So last night at the summit, this guy comes up to me and he goes, dude, I got my badge tattooed on my arm. And I was like, no, you didn't. He pulls up his sleeve and it's like right here. He takes his badge and lays it, and it is an exact match of his badge on his arm. And I was like, holy shit, dude. I was like, you did not do that. Yeah, he's like, yes, I did. And I was like, wow, somebody has that forever.
Yeah, it's like, get a picture.
Yes, and we do have a picture of it, but I didn't have my camera, and I will get it online. So you may have noticed on the DVD, there's a link to some places to download some of my content that we didn't get onto the DVD in time because I'm a jerk and didn't get it to Neil in time. I will get that picture and throw it up there, so if anybody wants to see the guy that got the badge. And consequently, and I didn't know this until we were walking with Neil this morning, the same guy got DEF CON art tattooed on him last year, higher up on his arm, the art of Eddie Mize, those of you know who Eddie. And so apparently, and what I'm surmising, is that the dude's getting like a DEF CON tattoo once every year to like commemorate. And so like it's kind of a flattering thing for Jeff.
We have to come up with either a really cool or a really crappy badge for next year for him.
So yeah, I was floored at the fact that this guy had tattooed the badge on him. I'm not quite sure what I think about that. I'm flattered, but please meet some new friends. You may have noticed